Welcome back for another kettlebell training video with Wrecking Ball Fitness. We've got a great topic to discuss today. We're going to be going over repetition ladders and how they can supercharge your workout, especially if they also include an endurance gain focus. Okay, so stick around, hang out with me for a little bit today if you want to find out why we include ladders in the RecFit workout and why they're so great at building muscle and increasing muscular endurance. So what is a repetition ladder? So we call them ladders, and a ladder is where you chop up some repetitions with two exercises. Let's say I have 15 reps to do. I'm going to take one of the exercises and make that my primary. I'm going to go from 1 to 5 with that number, or maybe I'll go down from 5 to 1. I split that exercise with the secondary exercise, and I might only do 1 rep, maybe sometimes 5, maybe 2, depends, but that is my standard exercise. There's the one that I'm cascading or laddering, and there's the exercise that is my split. This little split provides a breath. It provides a moment where I can gather myself, okay, I can grit and bear down on the task at hand, but it helps you chop up the reps, all right? So 15 reps would be with one primary, but by using a ladder, I can go from 5, secondary exercise, 4, secondary exercise, 3, and so on and so forth. So you get the gist. For today's workout, we're gonna be going over the thruster. So the thruster is our primary exercise, and we're gonna split that with a double kettlebell snatch. Now let's go over some form and some techniques. To generate momentum, I want to incorporate the hinge. I want to use that posterior chain to accelerate the weight from low position up to a high position, which is where I'll be catching the kettlebell in that snatch position. To perform the hinge, I want to use my posterior chain, the hamstrings, glutes, low back, maybe mid to upper back, okay? And I want to use all these muscles in coordination. I want to coordinate these muscle groups so that I can generate the most amount of power. I also want to sit nice and low, far back into my hinge where my knees are over top of my ankles. And I also, most definitely, I want to engage the core in the midsection. Okay, that hinge is where you're going to generate the power. You get that elastic rubber band effect by sitting way back and getting nice and low. Now I want to feel this swing, sitting my hips back, turning those thumbs inward. Definitely need that thumb side in position. This is going to narrow the bells. Okay, this is going to narrow the bells so they have an easier time passing between the knees. Hey, if you found this video helpful, then consider subscribing to our channel. We post content about kettlebell training. Maybe pass this along to someone who you think would benefit from mastering their technique with kettlebells, and give us a like. We greatly appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, let's get into this tutorial. Today we have the snatch thruster ladder. Now our first movement is the snatch. I'm using that to get the weight overhead. We then go into the thruster, and I decided to start with the single and work my way up to the 5 so I can give myself a chance to warm up. We know that that first energy system is the ATP phosphate system, and that's just enough energy to get me started. Okay, here we are going into number 4. Now you see I'm stepping my foot out and then stepping my feet in. I want to feel like I have my heels under me so I can get the most out of my lower body. Now, your angle of your feet and also the width that you choose for your squat is totally up to you. It's always based on personal preference. I like to make it based on if discomfort or comfort. If I feel strong, then it's good for me. All right, first one's down. Here we are going into our second round. Now we're going from the 5 down to 1. Okay, you really need to brace the abdomen as you come to the bottom of that squat, especially if you're hitting a deep squat. I like to get as low as possible so I can really get the max out of my quads. Whatever joint is bending the most, basically. So if my hips are bending more, my hips and glutes are going to get more of the work. If my knees are bending more, then my thighs are. I'm really focusing on using the legs. I want to drive from my lower body to get the weight overhead. And that's on the snatch and on the thruster. Okay, we're almost done here. And there you have it, folks. Thanks for joining us for another Rec Fit training workout, and we will see you next time. Thanks.